Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brad Lone Wolf, and it's been quite a while since I've done one of these videos. Let's see if I can remember how to do one. So recently, I say recently, a couple of months ago, I saw a piece of equipment online that I thought I'd like to have a look at and a review of. So I went ahead and bought it, and basically I forgot to do a video on it up until right now, and it's to do with sleeping. Now there's plenty of products out there on the market, ranging from your basic roll mat through your thermarests to what I'm going to look at today. Now, there's nothing wrong with roll mats, but people tend to forget with just your bog standard foam roll mat, it is designed to keep you off the ground and keep you warm and doesn't provide any comfort whatsoever. Thermarests provide a little bit of comfort. They are obviously insulated, they're meant to keep you insulated. They do provide a little bit of comfort, but in comparison to what I'm going to show you today, they are actually quite bulky and quite heavy. So yeah, I can hear people out there going, just cut to the chase, we're tired of seeing your hands. That's fine, that's a fair one, and I'm going to do that right now. So today I am going to be talking about Expedition blow-up mattresses, and yes, they do exist. Now I've got this one I've had for a while. It's great, but there are limitations to it. And you'll see the limitations a little bit later on. The one I bought off of the internet a little while ago is this one. Now, it's a brand I've never heard of, Scottus. I don't know whether that's actually backwards for you on screen, but that's what it's called. It's called Scotus. Now, you might be looking at these and thinking, well, that one's a lot bigger than that one. That's only the packaging. This is actually really quite small once you squash it up. And like I say, I'm going to be comparing these two today and giving you an almost thorough, in-depth review. Now as I'm filming this, it's November in 2020. We are officially on lockdown. So technically I can't spend the night outside, so I'm doing the best as I can. But yeah, going to be looking at these two products. Like I say, I've had this one for a while. It's good, but there are limitations to it. And then there's this one as well. First thing I will say right away, this one, I don't think they produce it anymore. It was produced by a company called Multimat. They basically, and they still do, a version of the thermarest mats. Their version of the thermarest mats I've not tried. I've tried the actual thermarest, but I've not tried Multimat's version, so I can't give an opinion on those. This one, however, like I say, once it's blown up, is comfortable, but you will see the downside to it later once it is blown up. Fairly thick. It's about 2 to 3 centimeters thick once it's blown up. It's got 6 ribs that you sleep on. Like I say, you'll see all that once it's blown up. But that's the Multimat one. The Scottus one, although it's got a smaller pack size originally than this one, or it looks a smaller pack size, is heavier by weight. You can feel that. That might be mass rather than actual weight, so I will be measuring that later. There is obviously it does come with the label with a little bit of bump on there. Right, it says on the back here, and I'll hold it down like that. 18 ounces, 510 grams. Inflated size, 75 inches by 22 by 2. Season rating 3. All of that's on there. Carry bag included. There is a repair kit in both of these, which is good for those people that end up. You will end up popping these at some point. Everybody does, even on the thermarests. people end up popping them. So the fact that both of these have got repair kits in them is fantastic news. Now, like I say, this one, although it looks bigger, I can actually compress it a lot smaller if I need to. Now, the advantage with having a bag, a stuff sack as big as this, or a carry bag as big as this, is you don't have to spend as much time actually putting your sleeping mat away. This one, you have to fold it up a little bit. You have to be careful about the way you fold it, otherwise it's not going to go in the bag. Okay, so that's the two carry bags spoken about. Overall, I do prefer this bag because it doesn't take as much effort to get your sleeping mat folded up and put in. Now then, on to a more crucial part of the video. Which one of these weighs more? Now, as I say, in terms of mass, you can actually feel that the Scottus one is heavier, but that may be its packed size and not its actual weight. So we'll put both of these to one side and bring in a set scales. Switch these on, make sure they're nicely calibrated. We want grams, make sure it's on 0. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to measure the Multimat, and just let it settle. Put the cord on as well because that does weigh that does contribute to the weight. Right, that weighs in at 352 grams all in. Make sure it's not on the table. It is a bit on the table. Yeah, 352 grams. So 352 grams for the Multimat. Now for the Scottus. Yeah, making sure the cord is on. Okay, that weighs in at 500 grams. Okay, so this is 150 grams heavier. So it's not just the mass, it's not just the pack size, it is actually heavier. Now then, there is a good reason for this, and you'll see a little bit later on. But overall, in terms of weight and pack size, the Multimat, once you've squashed it up a little bit more, the Multimat actually wins on that one, just for now though. Okay, moving on. The actual design of the beds themselves. Now they are rectangular, they're not mummy shaped, and that's both of them. So obviously that design lends itself a little bit better to the square rucksack, to the square sleeping bags that you're going to be using. Put the actual put the stuff sack in there. Like I say, they are square. Both of them are square. They're both rectangular. And the next one, to blow them up, obviously they've each got a valve. Now both of these valves have got their own advantages and disadvantages. Now this one looks like any other thermarest valve, Multimat valve. Screw it down, and then that keeps all the air in, or draws the air through, depending on what you want. Word of warning with these, well, not with these ones, but with thermarests and Multimats, the self-inflating mats, any of them, you will hear people say, oh, you can put a couple of breaths into thermarests, Multimat, self-inflating mats. Please don't do that. The moisture in your breath will actually start delaminating, and in some cases actually start start destroying the foam on the inside. This is a blow-up mat. This is actually designed for you to breathe into it. So I'm just going to do that quickly now. Of course, because of the type of valve it is, you do have to be quick in doing the valve up, otherwise you're going to lose air. The advantage with these ones though, and that's both with the Scottus and this one, is once you undo it, all the air rushes out. Okay, slightly different design of valve on the Scottus, and I will show you that right now. Put that to one side, get the Scottus out. Okay. So there's the valve of the Scottus. Now, for people who have used standard blow-up beds, it will look vaguely familiar. It is more or less a blow-up valve that you put a normal pump in and blow it up that way. The difference is obviously this one is designed to be blown up by your breath. Now, two-part valve to it. That is to let the air out, and then you put the plug in to blow it up, and then you just blow straight into there. Slightly better design on the Scottus because it is a one-way valve. So as you blow it in, your air goes in, or your breath goes in, your air goes in, but it doesn't come back out, which is different to the Multimat one. There is a disadvantage to that, however. And then obviously you put the second part of the bung in to protect, to stop any dust or dirt or anything else getting in. Now then, the disadvantage to the one-way valve in there is you have to undo that part. You have to undo the bung all the way to let all the air out, rather than it just coming out by itself. So in that case, each of the mats are on par with each other. Okay. So moving on to, I'm going to pause the video. When I come back, I will show you how easy it is to blow each of these up, and then you'll see the major difference between the two. Back in a second. Right, so here we are, changed views, changed set if you like slightly, and now I'm going to show you how easy it is and how quickly each of these blows up, how wide they are, how thick they are, how long they are. And then this is where you'll see the massive difference between the two mats. So, starting with the Multimat, and I am going to do this in real time, I'm not going to speed the video up. So, starting with the Multimat. Okay, that is the Multimat blown up. Now in terms of height, you can't see it in the doorway, in the camera there. Next to the doorway's about 6 foot tall, so you can see how long that one is. In terms of its width, however, that is actually its width. Now, bearing in mind when I sleep on it, you can see the problem with the Multimat already. It is far too narrow to have anything other than a comfortable night's sleep on it. You can get a comfortable night's sleep, but I've found myself like that, just trying to keep myself on the mat itself. In terms of sleeping on your side, obviously absolutely fine, but we all tend to wriggle and move during the night. So, in terms of width, it's not a big fail, but it's not a big pass either. Now hopefully that will stay up whilst I blow the Scottus up. Again, in real time, so you can see how quickly and how well this goes up. I didn't show you the thickness, did I? That is the thickness of the Multimat. So, fairly thick. So, long, certainly 6 feet long, certainly thick enough. In terms of the width, leaves a little bit to be desired. Right, Scottus map. Map, yes, we'll say map. Scottus mat. Okay, and that is the Scottus map blown up. Now, it's just as long as the Multimaps, might be actually slightly longer. It is slightly longer. It's not going to stand up as well, and you'll see why in a second. Let me just move the camera. That's better. So the Scottus map is slightly longer. It's not as thick, but it does make up for it in another way, and again I'll show you that in a second. But in terms of the Multimat, it's wider. You can see that there, that it is wider. It's a good, what, 4 or 5 centimetres wider, or a couple of inches wider. So in terms, for me, if I were to lay on it, obviously I've still got my arms slightly hanging off, but it's not as bad as the Multimat. Now, I did say it's not as thick, and it's not as thick, you can see that straight away. However, with the honeycomb, with the diamond design, nearly said honeycomb then, in terms of the diamond design, because it's got slightly more surface area, it gives you a bit more comfort in terms of that sense. Okay, that is the major difference between the two, is the width of the, move the camera back. That is the major difference between the two, is the width of the Scotus compared to the Multimat. Like I said, I don't think the Multimat's made anymore. In terms of actual comfort, like I say, I haven't been able to test, well, I've been able to test the Multimat out. Haven't been able to test the Scotus out because obviously I haven't been able to go outside since I got the Scotus. Overall though, in terms of comparison of each of them has got their own advantages, but it depends on what you want. Now, overall, I'm more tempted to get rid of the Multimat and start with the Scotus. The reason being is purely and utterly because of the width. Although I've spent many a comfortable night on the Multimat, I have ended up sleeping like that because I just don't feel like the mat's actually wide enough for me. Like I say, when I get the chance, I will be taking the Scotus out, and I will be giving you an update when I do. Okay. Last thing I suppose I better do is let the air out of these. Okay. So undoing the double valve. You can see how quickly the Scottus actually lets its air out. Didn't even have time to show you. It's already flat, more or less. Undo the valve of the Multimat. Lets it out more slowly. Now, as with any of these type of mats, even with the thermarests are a little bit harder because because obviously as soon as you let go, it starts drawing air in again, as is the design. But even though this has got a nice, both of these have got a valve designed to let air out, you still have to roll them up, still have to push them out, push the air out. Because even though these are designed to be blown up with your breath, with the breath from your lungs, you don't want to leave any moisture in there. So I'm going to flatten them out as best I can, unroll them. I'm going to do this with both of them. Unroll them, and then I will be hanging them up and leaving them over the door, just to get rid of any moisture that happens to have accumulated in them. Like I say, I can almost guarantee you that some of the moisture from my breath would have gone in them. So, as I'm doing this, I will do a bit of conclusion. In terms of sleeping mats on the market, there are plenty to choose from. Starting with your basic roll mats, which most people would have tried at least once in their lifetime before deciding to move on. The thermarests, like I say, they are good. If you can get hold of one, do it. But in comparison to these, they are very, very heavy. These mats, these blow-up mats, they offer kind of a good amount of comfort whilst being extremely lightweight. Their only issue is to make up for that lightweight. They do compromise in other areas. Obviously, the choice of which one you go for is up to you. If you want to stick to a roll mat, basic bog standard roll mat for whatever, do it. I'm not going to judge you. You know, it's your choice of equipment at the end of the day. If you want to stick to self-inflating mat, again, please do. Again, I'm not going to judge you for it. You choose the equipment that is right for you. If you want to go for one of these, go for one of these. This is not a full review of every blow-up expedition mattress out there, quite simply because I don't have the money to buy them all. But it should give you an overview of what to look for. Now then, I hope that gives you an idea of what to look for, and I hope it helps. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.